by Kia. And up front for Boston, Tatum with Evan Fournier, Tristan Thompson. In the backcourt, Marcus Smart, Kemba Griffin. Up front at the guards, it's the former Celtic, Kyrie Irving and James Harden. The officiating crew, James Capers, Ken Mauer, Sean Corbin, and Tristan Thompson going against Kevin Durant. Nets control. A very impressive resume.
Very impressive indeed, and I like what he said. He said, we're early in the process after game one, which is a real big flex right there, if you will. Typically something that someone says in the preseason, not in the first round of the playoffs, is Kemba Walker, the key. Did not play so well in game one. He needs to be aggressive and efficient here in this game two ball.
Here's Durant for three, yes.
Drive, and now looks like Tatum got into it there with Durant. Something to keep an eye on how these officials call this game.
Nice pass inside for a quiet game.
He did, but I'll tell you, James Harden, I mean, his passing elite, off the charts. Beautiful execution on that play. Great delivery.
Well, earlier in the season, as Tatum fires for three and hits earlier games, and then 20 of his last 21. Harris on the drive. Harris with the rebound. Oh, it's rejected by Thompson.
I think that's an advantage for the Nets because Boston's shooting on that basket looking into the sun. Be interesting to watch.
Particularly because as Kemba Walker is able to knock it down.
You double team the Nets. So many weapons, players capable of knocking down shots.
Tatum is off, too strong. Here's Durant. Harden met by Tatum. Get on a switch. Now Fournier. Here's Harden. Off the dribble. One bounce pass handed by Griffin. Just doubles it to Irving.
Kyrie Irving for the easy layup right there. Griffin, not just a finisher, but also a facilitator. And speaking of facilitating, alley-oop finish to Tristan Thompson.
The big story for Boston the other night was the play of the backup setter, Robert Williams, who had 9 blocked shots. He's coming off the bench. And Thompson starting is spending most of the season at the 500 mark. It was an injury-hit, disappointing season for the Celtics. Then they beat the Wizards as Tatum put up 50 points against Washington. Nice move, 2 nice moves by
taking them off the dribble, getting to the paint. Interesting to watch that matchup as the game progresses.
Walker missing the shot. Here comes Irving, looking for the three. Harris shoots the three. Yes. Joe Harris.
As you might expect, he said they have a big upside, and they really feel like the playoffs is going to work everything out here. And when I asked Blake Griffin about that big three, he was being accustomed to a big three as a non-big three.
With another three, and the Nets now lead at 22-13. Tatum is off. Jason Tatum, 1 for his first 4 after the 6 for 20 in game 1. Harris for 3 again. 14 points over the first 6 minutes for Joe Harris. The steal by Harris. Drives and hits. But the Cavs also did some time in the G League. So that was a tie-up. It's controlled off the tip by the Nets. Jeff Green, a one-time Celtic, has just come on for Harris. And Robert Williams, who just checked in, guarding.
Into the game, hits his first jump shot. Was so critical. Did a dynamite job defensively guarding Tatum on switches in the second half. Just a solid veteran. Compliments this team well.
Another three-pointer for the Nets as Green connects on his first shot. Fournier on a step back for 3, and it's good. Look to accelerate. Here's Irving on a pull-up. And Fournier controls. Fournier on the drive, goes to the scoop and is able to hit. Major problem for the Nets in game 1. He had missed 5 of his previous 7 games because of a turf toe. And there's Williams putting it this because they did not keep blocked shots back in Blaze Bay. There's Irving getting inside. The tip is put hard. Handling the sideline from Barnes. Durant had it knocked away. He recovers and hits. Well, Tatum is now 1 of 4 from the field. Game 1, pass intended for Williams. Irving had an ocean. Now Irving to the paint. Puts it out. Here's Durant. Yes.
Time of the season.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Durant with the lead. That's too easy.
Ball movement, player movement, whipping around the court, the ball, sharing the basketball, playing together as a team, whereas Boston, conversely, has played a lot of ISO basketball right on cue.
Much better today heading into this game.
Well, we saw Jason Tatum last week on fire with that 50-point explosion of a play-in game against the Wizards. He and Kemba Walker led the way. This is Landry Shamet start. And then had to sit out, primarily due to a strained hamstring. Well, after that brilliant start, open lane for Tatum. Has scored or assisted on the last 12 Nets points. And Tatum continues to have his problems. He's 2 for 13 since halftime of day 1.
Yeah, no rhythm right now, no energy from the Celtics here. But on the offensive end, just flat, out of sorts, not hitting shots. Give credit, though, to this Nets defense. Making plays. Shamet off the bounce, attacking the shot blocker and Tristan Thompson.
Good job defensively by the Nets on Tatum. Walker spins in, goes down, lost his footing. It's recovered by Langford. Gets it to Thompson, and he is able to score. He's hit all 7 of his free throws. Blake Griffin is back, shoves it over to Harris. Harris continues the incredible shooting. He's 6 of 8 from 3. Thompson gets inside. Points in 15 minutes.
And you think at some point they would try to guard him. I mean, he's coming off wide open, feeling it. And this team is looking for him to find him.
So Kyrie Irving now has 8 points. That is a new playoff career high for Harris, who has 22. 48 for 3.
Fournier hitting that shot there, but it's just too much Brooklyn here early and getting whatever they want on the offensive end. And Kevin Durant.
Playoff Saturday night. Nets beat the Celtics 104-93 with the big 3 all back intact. That's the same tonight, but really putting out a display at the offensive end. This is a nice pass in Williams. He has been intact. Last night was the 9th, so 8 times during the regular season. Nice play
for Steve Nash's ball club.
Now let's check in with Jared Greenberg as this third quarter gets underway.
Well, Marv, you wanted more? I'll give you a little more here. The message from Brad Stevens in the Celtics halftime locker room was simple.
Second most in the first half in their franchise history in terms of playoffs. In 1986, they had 73 in the first half against the Milwaukee Bucks. Blake Griffin, should say Kevin Durant, hearing it from the crowd. Here's Jason Tatum was able to get through the wall.
He was determined on that play. Tatum getting to the rim and following his coach's advice by attacking and not settling.
And Harden
here for this Nets ball club. Double team Durant in the post. Harden makes you pay from downtown.
They went 0 for their first 10 from the three-point line in game 1. Different story here tonight. Net turnover. Walker was it across. Walker got the step. Walker on a reverse.
Ball. Wasn't in the act of shooting, though. He didn't have possession.
No foul. They just... Ball was knocked out of bounds. Guess who?
Duncan Robinson. So Sean Marks knew what he was doing when he offered him and gave him a $75 million contract this offseason.
Griffin called for that last foul. Here's a three for Smart. Marcus Smart.
Wait for the screener to get set before you make your move.
Games 3 and 4 in this series, Friday and Sunday night at the TD Garden in Boston. Fournier off balance three.
Tough shot right there, but all of the shots here have been tough for Boston because of this defense. Almost like Brooklyn looked disinterested on defense during the regular season, but now.
Here's it.
Play, build trust, chemistry with one another, and stepping up big here and playing big in this game too.
Mike James came over from Europe. Chris Chioza, not dressed tonight, has had some strong performances.
Talk about DeAndre Hunter, has not played in this series. Great ball movement and finish. Blake Griffin, who went just that.
Sean Marks, the general manager of the Nets, played 12 years, basically as a backup in the NBA, 6 different teams.
With the team.
Give it time. You just don't have enough things to do, you know? Nice move by Kemba Irving. Working the clock, out of 4. Irving lost it to Fournier. Here's Fournier for the jumper for 3. He's got it. Ball. Walker, played by Durant. Walker thought it was foul. Comes back the other way for a three-pointer by 7 minutes to go in the third. A 96-71 lead for the Nets, trying to go 2-0 in his best of 7. Kevin Durant now with 22 points. Nets have been in the bonus the last 6 minutes of this third quarter. Smart for 3. Inbound. Foul is on Shannon. There's Smart for 3, and he banks it home with another three-pointer. That's 4 for 7. 14 points for Smart.
And you know Marcus Smart is always going to compete regardless on both ends of the floor.
Marcus Smart has found the touch. His 5th 3. Right, here's Kyrie Irving, played by Marcus Smart. Irving on the drive, Irving on the spin. That's the bucket.
You had Gordon Hayward as well. Jaylen Brown was healthy. Maybe not playing at the level he's played at this year. And Marcus Smart at times in that lineup. Tatum as well and Kemba Walker was the 5th option. He's been asked to do more this season and in this series. Nets.
And the question was continuity with the big 3. They've shown it certainly today. Helps to hit shots, which they did early on. Here comes Irving on the drive. It's not away. It's a goaltend. Foul committed by Shannon.
And the thing about these playoff series, all the games, time to prepare, adjustments made. You have to have guys that can go get a shot when it's all said and done. And that's what differentiates.
1 point. Marcus Smart had 14 consecutive points for the Celtics. Durant had 14 points in all in the third quarter. Grant Rich.
He couldn't come at a better time here in the postseason.
I'm sure some of these players miss hearing some of the comments from as Trey Young was right about that. Oh, what a play. From the floor, that was Romeo Langford who was able to put it home.
Extra day in between games helped Jason Tatum as he's nursed that growing injury. His team some time to regroup as Tristan.
Shamet with the driving hook. Claxton taps it to the corner. Attempted save does not work. Pritchard comes out of the backcourt for the Celtics. Langford tees it up, drives, and scores. Romeo Langford 4 in the regular season. 2nd seed behind the Sixers. Game 1 of the playoffs. Nets did defeat the Celtics. It wasn't a particularly solid all-around performance. As Shamet, the big 3 back in action for 2 straight games. They'll make it a record of 8 of 10 in the regular
Robert Williams, Neesmith, all asked to play and do more this season. So a bit of a transitional season for this ball club. You know, you think in years past, Horford, Kyrie Irving, Hayward, solid veterans who know how to play. And the Brooklyn fans don't care. They still want to see them out there on the court.
Tucker goes about 7-5-3-10. That's Cornette. Just under 3.5 remaining. And this is garbage time. I know some people object to that, particularly coaches, because they're taking a strong 2.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. That's up by 24 points.
Very early, Brooklyn put their foot on the gas here and created that separation. Too much for Boston to come back from, but that next game, Phoenix, what a series that is shaping up to be. And LeBron James lost game 1 with the Lakers.
Three-year man from Missouri State able to put it down for the Nets to follow the Reggie Perry bucket.
We know LeBron James has lost game 1s before and bounced back, so it'll be interesting to see. They have to trust their sets on the offensive end, and then, you know, defensively, it's tough. I mean, tonight they did a good job early on the big three, and it was Harris who got going.
Harris with the flopping hook.
Playing great defense. I'm not sure the Celtics have an answer at all.
Tyler Johnson not able to hit. So the final minute series for the first time since their 2004 series against the Knicks.